There's a new sheriff in town, and his name is Reggie Ham and Cheese. Hey guys, I'm TutsByKai. I'm Kai, and today we're back once again taking a look at these pixel art apples that I created a little bit ago. Now, I've been wanting to do a full recreation of like all of the textures from Minecraft, because I love Minecraft. Obviously, Minecraft's, huge, great game, and I think one of the things that's always kind of bothered me is the food in Minecraft. The food has always kind of bothered me a little bit, so I wanted to make it look a little bit softer and a little bit more, pleasing to eat today. So that's what we're doing. The first thing I want you to kind of like note, if you're trying to think about, I also want to create pixel art, I want to do pixel art, or if you just clicked on this video just because you like the way pixel art looks and you're not actually making anything, then hey, what's going on? Hey, how are you? Thanks for clicking on the video. But if you are trying to make pixel art, I think the first thing you should note is there's two different processes happening right now. So the first process is just getting the lines down and getting a basic shape, and then after that it's kind of the color. And anything I couldn't do like shape wise with the actual, the black outlines or the color, the hard solid color itself, the rest of the color kind of creates the other shapes. So if you were to see, like before I started adding these two darker and then the lighter colors here, it kind of had like a flat look, obviously because it's just flat color. But when you start adding things like this, so I have this nice shadow on the left and I have this highlight on the right, so it kind of makes it look like it has a little bit more of a shape to it. But I want you to keep in mind, I'm not just going around the edges and making the left-hand side dark and the right-hand side, light. There's like a nice little arc on the right. It looks kind of like a half crescent moon, and then on the left, and then on the right, it's like this little like light ball kind of thing going on. And I think the biggest thing you want to steer clear from is kind of just darkening the edges, or like putting your highlights on the edges. It kind of starts looking weird and like pillowy, which is not the best. And I think the most important thing is to like you see me doing, zooming in and out of your work, because when you're making pixel art, you gotta keep in mind it's pixels. It's just literally 16 by 16 I'm working in, so you gotta make sure that it has a nice overall shape. And sometimes looking at it super close up, you might not be able to tell exactly all the time how it looks from every perspective. So that's something that's also super important. Now, color is also really important. You see here, I'm kind of trying to switch up the colors and do different colors and things. And I changed the color greens a couple times, and I changed the browns and the reds. But I think what you really need to notice here is, if you look at the red colors, a lot of these colors that are here in this red apple aren't actually red. There's a couple of purples and there's a couple of oranges, and I think that's really important, because a lot of the times when people are trying to shade pixel art or do something crazy with color and pixel art, they kind of just drop the color down and they don't really change the hue. So my recommendation to you is, anytime you change a color or you add a different color, so you do a darker color or a lighter color, always shift the hue. So with reds, you probably want to pull it more to the purple, to the bluish purple side. And if you want to go, if you want it to be darker, you do the bluish purple side. But if you want it to be lighter, then you always go to the yellower, more warmer side. You know what I mean? Or if you're creating something blue, you steer away from a red color. It's kind of like, you kind of go to a lighter medium. And with this line art here, you can see I'm coloring the line art to make it look a little softer, because I want the food to look, nice and pleasing to the eye. I don't want it to look like it's, some harsh red apple that's gonna taste sour when you bite into it. I want it to look like it's, nice. I want it to look like it's like, that the what was it? The sweet, was it onions? What was it in Holes where they had like onions? Was it radishes? It was onions. It was definitely onions. It was sweet onions. I want it to look like it's juicy. You know what I mean? So yeah, I have this these darker color lines here, and I'm trying to get a darker color in the shade of the apple there to make it look like it's a little bit more shinier, or whatever you want to say. And I had this idea to shade around the edges, which this is never done, by the way, because most of the time when you're doing things with pixel art, especially for games or something like that, you usually can't just drop the opacity and then just put like some anti-aliasing on the edges there. But I said, why not? It looks nice, I'm gonna do it. So I did it, and I put some half 50% opacity on the edges there. And you can see here I'm selecting different pieces and kind of changing the hues up, which is super important because you have to keep in mind you're not set in stone with the stuff that you do. So if you make the whole thing and then you realize, okay, I want to change this color here, I want to change that color there, then go for it, do it, really do it, because a lot of times, like I said, when you're done, you think everything's perfect and everything's nice, but it's really not. And then here with the golden apple, I kind of just took the same apple and then hue shifted it and got it to the point where I really enjoyed what it looked like. And then I kind of went in and changed a few things. I added a few more highlights to make it look like it's a little more shiny than the regular apple here, as you can see. And I kind of go and I try to figure out where I want to put these things. And I redo the anti-aliasing so it's like consistent. But yeah, so you see I kind of grabbed this little yellow here, make it a little brighter. You know, kind of try to make it look like it's a little more special than the regular apple. So, you know, because the golden apple is meant to heal you, you know. And I also, at this point, was starting to think that there wasn't enough backlighting on the apple. It looked kind of bland in the bottom left. So I kind of started doing something like that, creating a little bit of light back there. It really makes the back edge pop. It kind of makes it like come to life, I feel like. Yeah, and I thought at this point it was perfectly done. So that's that, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next pixel art video. But until then, bye-bye.